tired of waiting.
Whoa.
Whose side are you on? Hear the answer to every question. It's not that I never wanted, I just never do. If you can, if you couldn't, you
People like us been waiting for.
oh, waiting for, oh, waiting for, oh, so tired of waiting, so tired of waiting.
Come on, guys. Come on in. Sit down. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Come on in, galactic travelers. What's up? This is called The Sun. This is Cat Power. It's called The Sun. Great, great song. I've been just trying to get y'all some jams since y'all want to hear a little bit more music, because this other one has been on my mind and I couldn't decide which one to play. So we're hanging out right now. We got lots of numbers. We got lots of astrology to discuss. We're going to talk about what's going on in the neighborhood. And it's cray. It's beautiful. It's divine. And it is a major shift. No matter who you are, no matter what level you're on, no matter what dimension, no matter what timeline, this is a shift we're all feeling from way, way, way deep. And I wanted to show up and talk about it. Right now, I've just been charting and listening, you know, since the 22nd, right? Since the 22nd, when we had the fall equinox. I was like, okay, look at all this information. Oh my gosh, look at all these things look at all the star seed points that are getting aspected. Look at all the 114s in the charts. Holy crap. Are y'all seeing 114? Are y'all seeing 000? Are y'all seeing 113? I mean, mainly the 114, the 441, the one, right? I mean, all these are codes that our mind is grasping to, while we're shifting out of these dimensions. But I called this, I forgot what creative we came up with, but it was the cosmic cardinal initiation, because this is what this is. What I'm going to describe to you right now has been the transits that have happened since the sun went into Libra. Right now, like meow, right, meow, like meow, meow, like 10 minutes ago, at 6:47, not even 10 minutes ago. Right now we're going to backtrack, okay? And I know this stuff is backwards, all right? But that's the whole point. When you're in this dimension, everything's backwards, right? When we're looking into the future, and this is a live stream on a quantum stream, so that's why these things are backwards. It's nuts. But right now, the sun in Libra is at 2 degrees and 51 minutes. It just started squaring Saturn at 2 degrees and 51 minutes in Capricorn, where the party started, where the procession of the equinox party started, where we took this party into Leo. Now we're taking it into Scorpio, guys. This is it. Like, we are taking this baby home right now. Now, here's what's crazy, and these are these transits, and we're going to go backtrack from here and talk about what all this means. But Sun square Saturn. Now, if you're Libra, if you have a lot, we all have Libra, but if you have a lot of Libra in your chart, you know exactly what this square energy feels like. This is this is what, Pluto and Libra, this is what we've been squaring. This is the energy that Libras and Venetians and is our star seeds and Arcturian star seeds and Spica star seeds, balancing out in Libra all of this energy, which is then what balanced it out on the planet, which is then what balanced it out within the vessel, which is then hooked into the collective, which now we're resetting Chiron right now because Chiron went retrograde today. And while we're on this live stream, Chiron is going to go into Pisces, the 12th house of Pisces, 29 degrees. It's getting its little rewrite right now with Saturn as we're squaring. And then we're going to go back into Pisces, and that's Chiron and Pisces. That's 12th house. That's like, pre-caveman. That's like the etheric being that came into this dimension. And this is this rewrite that's happening. And all these numbers and synchronicities, that's going to happen at 7:09 my time, which is in exactly 11 minutes. Hoot, hoot. So, how are you guys doing? There's a lot going on. A lot going on. Remember, all of this is happening within our vessels. I'm not going to pull up the chart again to show you all of the fields of the planets and how those are attached in our DNA, and because our bodies are just opening up. This energy is coming through our bodies and releasing some of these lower energies. And the theme for the past 3 or 4 days since the 22nd has been, you just thought you might have figured some of this out, and that maybe you thought that you had reached some type of plateau, or you thought, you know, you were just waiting for all of us that had to clear the underworld to hurry up and show up so that then we could sit with you Indian style, because you were on that higher timeline. You're more Pisces, Aquarius energy, or you're galactic, right? You're more etheric if you know your chart and your energy. So you guys kind of came in, if you're Antares and you were conscious the whole time, then you guys came in on this higher timeline, and you might not have had even a real awakening experience to where you have to switch your program, like those of us who came in and had to clear these lower timelines and dimensions in order to get to you. And so all my coaching this week has been for all you Pisces, Aquarius, and galactic beings that have been holding space, that were here for us, that held the energy so that this shift could happen, because we all have our unique roles. But it's like, how I picture it is you guys are like sitting like, "Za," and then you're waiting. You're like, when are they going to get here? I'm so tired of this. When they get here, then I am done. My bags are packed. It's over. I am like, forget those other people. I can't even handle them anymore. There's like no way I'm dealing with those unconscious people. Okay, so as soon as my tribe shows up, my bag is packed by the door, and I'm ready to pick it up and run out the door, and I'm going to invite everyone in, and I'm going to teach them what I've been doing. Well, this is moving so fast that what's happening is that those of us who have cleared from that part, we're passing by you guys, and we're going, we're not even supposed to stop. we're not supposed to stop. We're supposed to pick you up and keep going. And you're like, what? I was like all set up. I was prepared for you guys for like a whole lifetime for y'all to come in and let's make tea. And I had this whole thing planned out. We were going to do it this way. Right. And we're like, just drop everything and come on. Right. So if you're feeling like, or in a lot of ways, which you can even think of it this way, a lot at this Lyran level and at this Gaian, switching out of that Gaian level into that Lyran avatar level, which I know that there's another word for that because I think my Akash is set on an older timeline. So if you guys know what that word is, but this 12D consciousness, that's another perception shift. So you guys are having to switch your perception in a physical being for the first time. Whereas those of us who had like a shock activation and that maybe were an RH negative or that were alpha draconic maybe and or had to clear, the twin that had to clear the matter that had to go through the lower density aspects. Well, to get this far, we've cleared so many that it's like we're just like, hold on, we'll teach you how to do it. Just hold on, just hold on, just hold on, release, release, release. But we're going through another shift too. So it's easy for us to recognize these shifts and know that that's what's going on because we've cleared so many recently. So that's what's going on. Also, at this Lyran consciousness level, it really is like we're all having a walk in experience. It really is like we are, because remember our souls, that's a true twin soul is just a different aspect of ourselves, of our full soul. It's an energy that has to be contained within a physical vessel. And in the density levels that we were in, until everything had been completed to right now, which I mean, all these things are happening so quickly now. You can see they're just I mean, man, let's whoa, and we're gonna go through some of these transits, but that's what's happening is that we're guiding the transits. And if you didn't watch the transits in 2017 and then it's like you don't even know that it's not a normal thing for every single day for there to be enough astrology and train and change in the geometry to where it's significant to talk about because we weren't locked into the zodiac before. So the planets were guiding us. Now our templates that are awake on the planet are guiding the planets, the astrology above us. So it's like we're hitting all these degrees and marks and it's just going in bam, bam, bam procession. And all of this happening at Chiron at 0 degrees in Libra season, in the season of balance and the culmination of mastery. There's a lot of us that are ready to take this step right now. There's some of us that aren't quite ready, but that's okay. It's all divine time and divine plan, you know, that can change in a heartbeat. But right now, what's happening is we're standing together, united all over this planet. And right now on this channel, my intent is for all of our energy to intertwine, for our sun, the I am that I am, the sun, the Libra in us, the balance, the galactic human, the equal of the right brain and the left brain, the connected beings on this planet that have helped to ascend this planet and humanity are going through a cardinal initiation process in Libra. We're all going through this at a deep level. There's a lot of tests that are coming up, and these are just you testing yourself. These are just tests. It's you testing yourself. But I know that you can see that this is happening a lot in your experience. These little things. I mean, I had two two old, because if you watch my channel, you know that I had an addiction problem to pills. I know now that it was because I legit was numbing my nervous system so I could maintain light quotient and not blow a fuse in lower densities. It was time to get clean. It was time to get clean, legit. Like my doctor went to prison. I mean, this is how divine timing, and this is these changes that some of you are going on. And this was 2 years ago, just that I was able to go into treatment and that was right before I got activated, right? But then all of a sudden, in the past 2 days, two of these old people that I used to buy pills from pop up trying to have a conversation with me, like they're concerned about who I am all of a sudden. And I'm like, what? Right? Like, because I've been hanging out and not communicating a whole lot because I know I'm integrating so much because we're having these perception changes. And so I know that you guys are seeing these, things and that are popping up. They're just making you make a decision. It's just the weighing of those two things, and that's what Libra is all about, and this is where Libra and Venus, because Venus is what we're waking up. And this now, it's like, so the sun is now in Libra and it's magnifying all of this Venusian energy at the same time that we're rewriting Chiron and it's activating Neptune. What's Venus's oversoul? Neptune. What's Neptune? The veil, the illusion, the collective subconscious. Everyone's talking about these shifts that are coming up and these mass awakenings and these waves that are coming. And this is where we're seeing them in the astrology. So I wanted to just kind of go through some of this. I actually did another video today. How are you guys doing? All of the star seeds went through the addiction thing that suppresses your gifts. Well, right, but we couldn't be fully awake on the planet in that old energy. I know I couldn't according to my plan. My plan was to be completely in the dark. If you haven't noticed. But I also know that because of my energy frequency that I could not. I mean, that was one of the first messages that I got whenever I got activated and connected, was that I understood that without that medication numbing my nervous system, that I it would have been too bright. I mean, when we shine too bright, then everything that we deal with, just for the fact of holding too much high energy, because then we're like these big mirrors. Not to mention that my migraines and stuff were so bad. That's another reason why you had migraines, right? Because our light from our soul was so bright that I talk about this in the coaching, not co-aching, the coaching and the coaching. And I know this is kind of gross, but it's the truth. Okay, your soul is a blowtorch. We took an animal. Okay, we took out the guts of the animal for real. Okay, we put our soul in this animal's skin, and then slowly over a period of time we're turning up. It's like a oil lamp. Ooh, I wonder if there's some analogy to that in some scripture or something. Anyway, the oil lamp, turning up the oil, right? Turning up the flame. Now, as we turn up that flame, then what happens on the inside of the animal? Okay, think about this. It singes the inside of the skin. Well, the skin is programmed to what? To intuitively make the animal respond, "Stop it. Stop, stop, stop. You're melting your arm. Stop, stop, stop. That's stabbing your kidney." Right? So the pain is just a programmed intuitive response, all right, to an outside something to give you a reaction of an intuition. Well, if you have, a lion's going to react in intuition different than a fish. Everyone's going to react different, and different there's going to be different reactions. So as we move into these higher densities, then basically what's happening is that our souls are becoming brighter. We're turning up the oil, and our souls are becoming brighter. And now what's happening is that since we're fully locked in on this 12th dimensional template, and it's like it's anchored, and beings are already stepping into it for the first time ever in galactic history and human history. As a galactic human, we're creating as galactic humans. And so since that's happening, then we're going into these blinders are coming off. We're accepting more parts of our energy and our soul. It's turning up the lamp, and it's singeing off the inside of the body that we don't need anymore. That emotion, that response. So if you have a response to run, you're going to run every single time that you have a trigger. Every single time that something makes you respond intuitively in an animalistic or just an emotional way, but because that's a program that you just need to see so you can stop it. And I play a game. I straight up play a game. I'm like, okay, I'll catch myself, and then I give myself 3 outs. So I catch myself once, I got 2 more. Once I catch myself with that same lesson 2 more times, and I make sure that I try to line them up, like if I already have 2 outs on abandonment, then I'm going to try to see if I can link it to abandonment, whatever that was, so that I can have 3 strikes you're out. But that truly is how it works, because once you catch it and you realize that you react like that just because it's an intuitive response, then this is where the changes really start happening, because it doesn't matter who we are on this planet. If we come more from the etheric, or if we come more from the matter, the alpha draconic, the animal, or are we used to being beings and fairies and angels where we're not having to look after a body at all? So we're learning lessons on love and attachment and detachment and balancing our energy. Libra, we got to learn how to balance that. We got to learn how to love other people with the fullness of our heart chakra, the way that we beings love, and hold just enough of that energy in balance so that we can then manifest and alchemize that, because the etheric beings are the ones that are master manifestors. They're not fully online yet, all of them. That's why we don't have all the information in our Akash yet. Whereas the beings that, like, from the Alpha Draconic line, well, those are the ones that, they were more animal, so they weren't used to having emotions and response. So then when they got bodies, they were screwing everybody and raping everybody and being like, "Ah," right? Just like the etheric beings, same thing. I mean, that's the Elohim. If you go but look back at they're always drunk and having sex with everybody. That's because none of us were used to having bodies. So it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what being you are, it doesn't matter what bloodline you are. If you are a human being on this planet, then right now what we're doing is we're balancing out and leave this energy within our vessel, within the planet, and we're activating that pineal gland that's moving back and forth, so that we're getting both sides of the story. Because understand that being a galactic human means that we need to master being master Libra right now. And we're going to have a huge opportunity because Libra is going to go retrograde in Scorpio. So, in a way, what we're working ourselves up to do is now descend back into the underworld, all the way back to Libra at 25 degrees. And then we're going to go forward again. And at a deep level, we're mastering this Libra energy right now. So understand that it's a perfect balance of light and dark. So this new template is you're getting messages constantly from both sides. Some of you guys are used to this, some of us aren't. So you're getting messages, light and dark from both sides. Well, that's not because one's wrong and one's bad. That's just so then you can make the best intuitive decision for yourself. Because it gets really complicated when you go multidimensional if you haven't been able to get all these, understand what this information is coming in, and understand that it's just your intuition, understand that that's you guiding you, understand that those are that everything is happening in divine timing and divine plan, so that you can get into a flow, so that then these experiences can take you more quantum, because the whole point is to not be Regulus and Alpha Draconic and serious, and that the whole point for the galactic human, those, right now, what we're creating is to take all that information and then blend it together and create your truth, because that is the power now. Take all that blend, and what do you think is, and then that is the power. I kind of got off on a tangent. Big time. I'm trying to see the chat. Yeah, both sides. I call in polarity now. I call it polarity now. I know I'm not alone. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for being on today. This shift is really intense. And I did another little video that I'll release probably tomorrow with some of this stuff that goes deeper into Anana, okay? Because really, at a soul level, what's happening is we are remembering and understanding within our own experience how Venus was taken away. We're having an experience that a lot of us Libras, and this is because I have 6 planets in Libra, and because I'm an Ophiuchus starseed, it's like the divine feminine human template, the AB negative, it's one of the templates that I hold is straight up like the antimatter. I've been having images and visions and done light language now where my soul has had to birth out of an ant, almost like the antichrist. I mean, we could go off on that direction because it's the antimatter, but it doesn't even matter. It's the culmination of it all. However, it's what this template is showing us over the next 2.5 months is okay, now we're moving forward. Now let's just go back over and let's make sure that everyone understands on a deep level what happens whenever we take away this Venus energy, and let's kind of re-engineer the engineering, through the descent into the underworld. If you know the story of Inanna, and I'll just throw it in here real quick, she puts on, she's the prince, she's the twin that goes and clears the underworld. She says, okay, fine, if no one else will do it, I'll go down and see my sister, and I'll basically turn myself in, but maiden, please go make sure that no, y'all don't leave me down there. Don't leave me down there. Don't, please make sure that they make the changes to get me out. I'm going to go turn myself in and I'm going to sacrifice. Well, she gets dressed up in her lapis lazuli jewels, makeup on her face, goddess, energy, And as she knocks on the door to hell, they're like, "You can't come in here." So she's like, "That's my sister. I'm coming in." So as she goes through each gate, she's got to get rid of some garment, the shells on her covering her breasts, the lapis lazuli, almost like the blue earth, her makeup. And each gate, she has to lose a layer until she comes to the point where she stands there and she says, "Okay, here I am, bare and naked." But that whole process is showing us that the jewels and the makeup and all these things, as we descend back into the underworld, what we're being shown, okay, at a soul level on the next 2.5 months, is those things that we put on and we grab as we are holding on to dear life, as we are embarking on something, just like putting on these jewels, just like make up your face. I mean, to some people that sounds crazy. I'm going to go to hell, but I'm going to get dressed up. Well, you don't get dressed up to show up to look good for hell. You get dressed up because you're putting on your armor, your facade to the rest of the world. But that's the 3D. When you take all that away, as especially at these higher dimensions, and having to let go of your expectations of anything, and complete detachment, because there's so much more coming, that if you stay detached, I mean, if you don't stay detached, then you're going to stay locked down to a timeline, right? But it is all about letting go of all those things. And so descending into that matter and being stripped of those things to feel defenseless. And then they start breaking, right? And then it's breaking down your spirit, breaking down your spirit. Well, it's we know now that no, that those things didn't have anything to do with it when we got there at the gates of hell, right? If you want to think of it from that way. But we still owned our power, and we're being shown where we gave our power away, where experiences and there's lower entities on the planet right now, that these Marsons that are jumping in and out of beings that are unconscious, or that might be in a state where they aren't able to manage that. Um, this is going to heighten during this period, all the way up until October 31st, Halloween. And we talked about this with the last stand and all that stuff, but October 31st is whenever Ven- uh, Venus is going to go back in to Libra on October 31st. And then it's going to go forward again, right? Then we're going to move back. Venus will go direct November 15th and 16th. October 8th, 15 degrees of Libra, trine Mars, quincunx Neptune, square to Pluto. And then October 24th, we have the full moon. The full moon is at 1 degrees of Taurus, which, is where Uranus is. So that makes that sun conjunct Venus, which is a grand square. I mean, that full moon, November 24th, then leads directly into November 6th. And I know I'm skipping ahead, but this is what we're in tune for. November 6th, we're going to have 4 planets at 0. I mean, we're going to have North Node at 0 degrees, South Node at 0 degrees, Uranus at 0 degrees, and Venus at 0 degrees. That's Venus, Uranus. Everything's going to change. That's 0 degrees. 0 degrees is the rewrite zone. 0 degrees is basically no time, no space. 0 degrees is where we rewrite. I mean, then that's the North Node and the South Node. The North Node was in Leo. Then it started going back to Cancer. This is Age of Aquarius. It's taking Cancer to Capricorn. It's the 33, the CC, the 69. We're taking Cancer back to Capricorn, and this has been the countdown up to it till then. So let me jump in on this real quick, and let me just tell y'all what I was seeing. How y'all doing? We are getting a rewrite down to the molecular bone level. So 09222, the fall equinox, okay? Libra was at 0 degree. The sun was at 0 degrees of Libra on the 222 gateway. I forgot what day this was. Today's the 25th, so 3 days ago. Okay, and the moon was conjunct at 6 degrees of Pisces because the moon was opposite leading up to the full moon. But this was the fall equinox, so this is when we had the seasons changed with 0 degrees sun. Crazy. The moon was conjuncting Fomalhaut. We also had some aspects to Regulus that day. The Cygnus star seeds were getting downloads. Cygnus is basically the creation beings. It's the ancient. It's like the Regulus and Fomalhaut are made up of the Cygnus beings. It is the etheric Lyran template, more of that higher dimensional template, right? So Fomalhaut, Cygnus, Vegas, Regulus. Then we had Mercury at 1 degrees of Libra. Well, 0 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees of Libra is the notice 1 degree for Alpha Draconic. So this is where the Libra was just such a seed, right? And how my soul seed was such a huge part of this shift, and Libras were such a huge part of this shift because Libras are the scale, and Libras balance that energy between matter and ether. And so the beings that were vibrating at that balanced Libran energy were crucial in bringing in this period and this shift. Okay, so that's why Arcturus is there, and with the ancient healing and how they're able. What is healing? Alchemization. Why are they able to do that? Because they understand energy. They understand light and dark, right? Um, since the okay, that's Vega and Lyra were being activated. Vega is the ancient Lyrans. If you want to think about it from this way, Vega was responsible for making the first fish or fish beings on the planet. The beings that was the skin suit that came from the aquatic ape. Lyrans were then their grandchildren that were more originally from a feline race, and the Lyrans helped build the human suit. So that's like that lineage down to the Pleiadians. Okay, so it's like Vega, Lion, Pleiades. So if you have any of those, then you're involved more from a seed level at a prototype level too, in this incarnation with the body. So anyway, that's the Notice One Alpha Draconic seed, which is the original seed that we took on when we talk about getting hit with the Hydra blood arrow. When we talk about Andromeda, getting raped by Perseus and all that stuff. I mean, that goes back all the way back, right? So that's the Notice One seed. You see where we're going, guys? Mars was at 3 degrees Aquarius on Uranus. Um, Mars was at 3 degrees Aquarius. Uranus was conjunct the South Node at 4 degrees of Aquarius. Okay, so we had some conjunctions, and Venus was at 7 degrees Scorpio, squaring Mars and the South Node, completing an 8-year cycle. You know how Venus goes in the Star of David, remember? And this is what I was showing you guys with coming out of this Lyran activation at this level with the template at this royal star. It really is two stars up and down, right? Like the cosmic, the Coco symbol. But that was that on the precession of the equinoxes. Uranus was at 1 degree and 44 minutes of Taurus. I don't know if y'all been having these 114, but holy moly. So Uranus was at 144 degrees of Taurus. Where is that? That's Earth. That's all the transition. Chiron at 0 degrees, getting ready for a rewrite. Then on 9/23, straight legit, I went to the Jack in the Box to get my son some breakfast jacks, and my total was $10.44. It was 10:14, and the car in front of me, I have a picture that the time is 10:14, and the car in front of me, I think it was 1144, and my total was 10:44. I mean, that happened a few times on the 23rd. Synchronicities going off like nuts. Um, because we had the north node and the south node on this day. So the north node and the south node were both at 4 degrees and 10 minutes. So you see these templates, this 144, this 144,000, this original Lyran template, okay? That's the template that now the astrology is locking into. And that's what this co-creation astrology story is telling us. It's showing us it's here. We can stop creating the story. We're getting out of the web. It's here. It's time to bring it. It's time to get up. 0 degrees crying, okay, so original template. This happened at 6:55, which I thought was crazy because my birthday is coming up on October 7th, all those 6 planets, and I'm born at 6:55, which is also 7, and Venus was at 7 degrees, okay? And then on the 24th, on the 20th, so then we had the 23rd, we got 1 day reprieve. Then we had the full moon. This was yesterday, which is still culminating today. All these energies are going to be around for at least the next 90 to 120 days. But we had the full moon of Aries last night. The sun was 1 degree and 59 minutes of Libra, moon 1 degree 59 minutes of Aries. Anybody notice 114? Here we go again. 114. Chiron was at 0 degrees, stationing to go retrograde. Okay. We had a grand cross, we had a grand square, and a mystic rectangle, all layered within the astrology. Remember, however, that's turning is what's opening up in us and plopping us into these templates. So, no wonder we're getting activated going off. This is where the Libra comes in. Make sure you're just holding that balance. Make sure that you're looking at all, just becoming aware, not passing any judgment. Chiron, healer, heal thyself. I've got it's the final countdown. Release ourselves from the ultimate rule of Chiron. Open the cage door. Unlock the wheel. And then that leads us to right now. So by this time, everybody, Chiron's moved backward into Pisces. So as Venus is going backwards by this time, because it just happened while I'm live on this channel, we had the Sun square Saturn at 2 degrees and 51 minutes, which is an 8. At 6:47, which was 611, which equals 8. And then we had Chiron go out of 0 degrees from here, go retrograde into Pisces, 29 degrees. So if you've got Pisces energy, you've got water energy in your chart, then here we go. Here's where the etheric trip's going to happen. What's Neptune? Venus's oversoul. Who's the ruler of Pisces? Neptune. What's Neptune? The veil, the collective unconscious. We got into Aries and we got some gumption, we got some get up and go. Now as we're going into this little testing period, and it's really again just us testing ourselves, because it's a lot of power whenever you bring on the rest of our soul, and we turn on all these gifts. It's a lot of power, and it's a lot of information, and we're talking very, very, very high level understanding of decisions and how they affect the masses, right? We're being prepared, crew. If we're so worried about saving the one little old lady across the street, even though we've taken her to we've done everything we can, but we're worried about saving that one woman, and we're so emotionally attached to saving that one life, and then it's like you can only do as much as you can do, and then you have to step back because you have to realize you're affecting way more people, and you're supposed to be here to save way more people, and the information that you're getting is supposed to be here to support way more people. And if I'm only focusing on the little old lady across the street, then I'm not going to get the opportunity to do what I came here to do, which was to affect way more people and human beings. So that, and trust me, this detachment thing, it's like just when we think that there's nothing left to detach from, we're detaching from something. It's the cardinal initiation, and Chiron at 29 degrees at 509 is another 1114. 29, 11, and 5 and 9 is 14. And here's the kicker: when Chiron, now tonight, now that Chiron's moved at 29 degrees, the moon is going to keep going through Aries, and it's going to hit 13 degrees of Aries, which is dead on my AC. My Chiron's at 15 degrees of Aries. And we know, if y'all watch my channel, where my lineage starts. So this is this massive reset, and it's all building up. It's all building up to November 6th, where we've got Venus, Uranus, North Node, South Node at 0 degrees. And then shortly after is whenever the North Node is going to go into Cancer for the collective. Okay. And that's when we're going to start seeing massive shifts. And what does this mean? We have to be masters. We have to realize we are creating our own reality. We are creating our own reality. It's been a kind vein. I'm playing everything that comes up and let go, even the things that are really deep. Yeah. I'll be 47 on 11/7. October 7th. 69 seems like very few. I have to throw myself. So until the 31st, also remember that we're going deep into Scorpio because it's we're showing ourselves. Our soul is showing ourselves where our veil is. And it's like Venus is rewriting the collective unconscious. It's like she's rewriting Neptune. Okay. And we're being shown, those of us who have cleared some of the denser layers and that have some of the denser frequency starseed locations, we're also picking up this scorpion information, this occult information, and remembering, just like Amanda and I, when we cleared that Marsan energy, that energy is on the planet still. This is scorpion. This is ancient, deep, dense energy that's being released with all these earthquakes, and the planet, our bones are literally oscillating at such a high vibration. I know you can feel it, that literally they're being jolted and turned. And for us to get back in this template. So everyone's talking about these events as they come, and it's your event is whatever you make your event to be. Will there be mass waves? Yes. Will they where they'll will there be an event at some point that no one can deny that this is happening? Yes. But we got to be ready and prepared and anchored on the other side, because if this is where this detachment comes in, we can't be worried of what's going to happen. Okay, this is the faith. This is part of it. We have the blood on the door. We're saying, okay, we believe, and what our guides are telling us is to detach, to focus on the joy, to start creating, to now do your best. Once you created a story so you could get out of your web, now do your best to get away with do away with your story. It's nuts, but it's true. And flow, and realize that yes, everything we've been talking about is happening. The planets are the higher dimension. Gaia has been birthed. It has been anchored. It's there are beings walking into the 12th and 13th dimension now. There's so many more. We can't, I mean, my God. It's really the choice of how far do you want to go. But if you're staying looking behind, going, what's going to happen to Earth, and trying to push others to be saved, or when it might not be their sole mission to be saved, like that's it, they're not they're everything is divine timing. So if they're not going to make the shift, then there's a reason for it. It's our human animal to save the pack, right? Not to say don't save people, don't get me wrong, but don't stay in the fear of it. This is what we signed up here to see. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's so freaking rad, right? I had a little experience, as you can see with way showers and how this is working. Like, a lot of us are experiencing these things early. The transitions that all of you guys are feeling right now in this next 2.5 months are what the Libras have felt for the past 2 freaking years, if not more. I mean, for sure the past year, because everything has been squaring Pluto and Saturn in that's in Libra. It's in you have any energy planets in your chart, then you know exactly what this square feels like. You're questioning everything. This is why Libras can't make a decision in the old energy. It's because you're getting all the information. Okay? We're just mastering that. Don't react to any of the information. If you do react with grace, react with gratitude, even if you attach with it to a hint of sadness, then make sure that you're alchemizing that energy, because what do the Marsans feed on right now? They feed on fear. They feed on sadness. They feel on judgment. They feed on remorse. Stop giving them food, guys. We're going through this shift. This is the whole point of why I wanted to talk about this. Don't be scared that about these entities and these negative energies. They're not stalking you. They're not following you. They are if you think that they are, because you're creating it, which is okay because it was part of our story. And yeah, I mean, legit in our physical reality, that was happening. But that was because at a core level, that was a DNA template that we were being shown how powerful we were, right? But now that's shifted, and now as we go through Scorpio, what you're being invited to do is come back to the mystery schools. Scorpio is the other side of Libra. It the pearls, the it holds up scales. The Scorpio holds up the scales, and through the Scorpio, we shed light into the darkness, and then we grab it and we come out and rise into a phoenix. And that is what's happening over the next 2.5 months. So, doot, doot. I got on another tangent. Is this helping y'all understand a little bit more about what is going on? I said, hey, what's going on? Oh, that clears my Jupiter in Libra. Oh, that clarifies my Jupiter. Yeah, if your Jupiter's in Libra, then yeah, I mean, everything's magnified. So it's like everything's been squaring. If something's like with the Sun square or Saturn square Jupiter, Pluto, which is up in Capricorn, so that's squaring, your Jupiter. And Jupiter magnifies everything. It's the magnificent. So every experience in your life has been heightened in the past year, and it's been heightened to it's like a do or die. With a Libra, like for me sometimes it can literally I can get stuck at the grocery store trying to pick out something between this one and this one, and it might take me 20 minutes because, and this is where the mind is so important. That's the point. Libra is about balancing the mind with the heart. And I'm getting better at this in some ways, and in others, I'm still learning. But there's so much information, so it's like everyone laughs at Libras and makes fun of us because it takes us forever to figure out what we're going to wear. But understand that, I mean, we're running every scenario in our head. Like, I know you're telling me that we're going dancing, but I know you, and you never tell me that it's going to get cold, and it always does, and then you're going to go to that hole in the wall place, and I'm not wearing these shoes there. Right? So you're planning out, right? Same thing when you get in the car with the kids. You're going to go to the store. You're just going to the store. You got 3 kids. They're all little, so you got to plan. You got to plan for what? You got to plan for just in case. Survival mode, right? Animalistic human. So and so's got to have a binky. So and so's got to have this. I hope they take the coupon when they get there, because if you don't, then I'm not going to be able to pay for the groceries. Now, what we did in our human mind makes sense to us at a human level. What we did was be responsible. They would tell us, you're be responsible and make sure that you think of every single thing that could possibly go wrong, because then that way you'll make every single thing possibly go wrong. So whenever we were doing that, we showed up, and then and everybody had a situation, and the damn guy didn't take the coupon, and then you couldn't pay for the groceries because you just created every single one of those timelines so that you could be prepared whenever the timeline came. But see how subtle it is? It's so subtle. Because I'm just planning on what I'm going to wear. Well, freak, now I'm going to put on an outfit, but then I'm going to get cold. And then we're going to end up at that hole in the wall. And I'm going to ruin these other shoes that I didn't want ruined either, because I planned it all out. But see, that's when we talk about mastering Libra, it's making sure that we quiet our mind. The information is there only to make us aware. So, what am I going to wear? Okay, Christy, don't trip out. Where are you going? What do you want to feel like? Shut the rest of it down. How do you feel right now? Well, I really don't feel like dressing up. Well, if I dress up and I show up, then I'm not going to be authentic. So, I need to feel comfortable, and I need to not worry about the rest of it. And that is so not Libra. Old 3D corporate Barbie Libra. But this is what's happening in our minds right now. At a DNA level, at a program shift, at a legit program shift. For those of you who have been on a higher timeline and have been holding space and are going through a program shift all at right now for the first time, and not had a big activation like again like we did coming out of like Terra to Gaia, okay? Then what's happening is that, yeah, your mind's getting a little shook up right now, because you're all of a sudden and in a flash knowing a whole bunch more information. And what's even trippier for y'all is that now you're starting to see all the things that you changed about yourself to fit in a box Now you're realizing that you just need to change it back and you're good. But now that you've done all the re-engineering to put yourself in a box and it was finally working and you were like, "Okay, at least I can exist in this place called Earth. What the hell? Hurry up. I can't stand this waiting anymore." Well, now it's like it's the new energy and you're operating in the 3D way in what feels like home to you and you're getting slapped in the face. Whoop-a-cha, whoop-a-cha, whoop-a-cha. And you're like, "What? This energy feels like home to me. It feels really good. I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. Why is this not working? Why is everything going wrong? Why am I just slapping my face all over the place?" And then you're like, "Oh my god, I just worked so hard to like program myself in order to exist in that energy. Now I got to remind myself what I was like before I did that." But that's all you got to do. Remind yourself what you were like before that. Hurry up. You gotta teach us, man. We just came from the ant layer. We need to manifest some matter. So, guys, if we can just hold our energy up to the power of Libra, if we can blend all of our energy in together, and I offer all the energy that we blend in full intent in order to elevate Christ consciousness into the highest dimension possible, to bring the collective to the highest timeline of all dimensions of all space and time that's available and this now. We want to say thank you to Saturn. We want to thank all the planets. We want to thank all the starseed locations. We want to thank all the angels. We want to thank all the ascended masters. We want to thank every human being on this planet. We are so grateful. We are so grateful for this reset. We did it. We pulled it off, all of us together in unison, in perfection, in divine plan. And now we're ready to embark on new everything for the first time. So as we square Saturn, as Chiron goes back to Pisces, and as we go back just on this little, it's a small world ride through how this all came to be. Let's hold the highest vibration possible. Let's remember those timelines. Let's keep creating this story, because the reason we did it all and the reason that we're losing beings on this planet, the reason that our earth is cracking is for us to create. If we don't create, if we don't detach, then it'll be for nothing. And that's not happening. Not happening on this watch. And so it is. Hoot hoot. I have another video that I'll get ready and put out tomorrow, okay? If y'all want starseedology readings and coaching, CoChing, about your energy field, starseed points, DNA, trauma, coaching, just, I mean, I've got a couple of different ways to get set up and get some of that information. T-shirts coming soon, starseed t-shirts, activated starseed DNA. Beware. Love you guys. Don't forget to like, okay? Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.